Hello, and here we are for another episode of Pints and Pages. I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
And we're going to go ahead and just start chatting and let you guys enjoy the conversation. So last week we didn't do a podcast because Brad was a little bit under the weather. I wasn't feeling the greatest.
I broke myself.
Yeah, so
real nightmare.
Yeah, we had some fun stuff. Yeah, I guess that's the funny story from last week is Levi's adventure with a fence and a dog
right behind me. We had been drinking, and I was at home, and I was letting the dogs out, and I'm gonna guess JoJo squeezed underneath the gate in our fence and ran around to the neighbor's yard, and when I happened to notice her, I decided in my brilliant brain, I'm going to jump over that fence. And as I did, I heard a very loud pop in my right knee, and I couldn't walk anymore. But I did get the dog. Hunter had to then walk around the gate and come pick her up out of my arms, but as I limped back to the fucking house, and then limped around the house the whole next day.
Yeah, so it was, last weekend was rough for us, so we took a week off. Now I know yesterday you went to Comic-Con.
Yes, I did.
How was that?
About as good as Comic-Con is in Indiana. We're not quite the scale of a lot of the other big cities, but the vendor floor was packed. There was, the normal every Indiana Comic-Con type items, but there was some new stuff that was cool. The arcade area seemed very small in comparison to other years, despite there being plenty of room in that corner. I know it's not like the biggest thing people look forward to, but it was just an observation. They had a couple new food vendors that I thought were pretty cool. One of which was like a PB&J. I didn't have any, unfortunately, but it was like a PB&J inspired like little stand, and I think they did them up pretty nice or something. And then there was the root beer stand. It's like got cream soda and grape soda, and then you can get this mug where if you buy it, you refill all day long. Yeah, all day long, all weekend. It's a $7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's $7 to refill, and it's the entire show, the entire time you're there.
Oh,
you
that's
just
nice.
Walk up and refill for free. But them cups be expensive. Like I was like, give us 2 bundles, straw lid if I can, like a special lid to fit over it, and like a clip you can hang it from your backpack while you're walking around, like all this shit. And I just didn't even look at the price of shit. I'm like, ring it up, and it's like $112. And I was like, holy fuck, man. It's a good cup though. The cup is nice. Don't get me wrong.
It better be for that fucking
It's
price.
a damn
Jesus
good cup.
Fucking Christ.
But now I can take this cup, and no matter what event it is, anywhere they ever go, I pay the refill fee. I drink for free the entire time they're at that event. So like I get to take that cup with me anyway. But yeah, I did not pay attention to the price in that one. I got a couple Magic singles I was looking for. I traded some.
The cats are going crazy.
I got me an Urza's Saga finally.
Nice.
I'm trying to get one of those, and I turned in a set of the promo cards from Lorcana that we had a duplicate of.
Oh, okay.
And then a few Magic cards. He tried to hose me a little bit, so I was like, well, how much, I did my wheeling and dealing and fucking got a fair price for what I actually gave him, but he was trying to lowball me on my Avenger, Zendikar, foil, Secret Lair, and give me $14 for a $50 card, and I'm like, that's not going to work. So I got the Urza's Land, paid the change, which was only a few bucks. And I found some other booths for Magic. Couple play mat, I've got a play mat. Didn't really look at comics. We've got a pretty well untapped resource for comics, so I don't tend to look. If I want to buy a specific vintage comic, then I'll go on a hunt for it. I'm pretty good at procuring pretty rare things. So I don't really dig into Comic-Con for comics, which is kind of weird. But
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I go mostly for the toys, and I own a comic book shop. So the big thing for me when I go to those things are, does anybody have any sort of not even toys, I guess you can say, but memorabilia is what I look forward to.
Oh yeah.
So especially now having the shop, like posters and different things that I can use as accents in the store is what I'd be looking for if I was there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the end of April, PopCon in Indianapolis. I got a booth, so we will be down there. The store will be down there all 3 days. So that'll be nice. I got a bunch of passes for all of us. So so I think go down, load in on Thursday, and then stay the night and have all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, and that'll be fun. It is a weird weekend only because it's the same weekend. It's at the convention center.
Yeah.
But it's the same weekend as the Traveling Oddities and Curiosities fair that's at the fairgrounds. It's also the same weekend as C2E2 in Chicago. So it's a weird weekend that they picked for PopCon. C2E2 obviously is massive. So
it's also a little more niche-y than PopCon.
It is.
Families don't tend to pack up together and go to C2E2. At least the further away you get from Chicago. It's not like hey, we're all going to be a family unless you're just dragging your kids there because you know what you want to buy.
I drove my wife and my brother-in-law last year.
Yeah, there's cool shit. Like, don't get me wrong, but it seems to be a more professional setting.
C2E2 is you are going there specifically for the celebrities. Like that whole big, like there's a massive chunk of that convention center that is just walled off for
you should have seen the celebrity area this year. That was something else. Okay, normally they put the celebrities at, I don't know how many Indiana Comic Cons you've been to.
I've not been to any of them.
Okay, so they used to put them in one area, and it would basically be a horseshoe at the end of the convention hall. Well, this time, that space was taken up by additional booths, and then they had opened up where normally the line in general admission is to get your tickets, was now the celebrity hall with an additional space further. So, like, the fucking celebrity section at Indiana Comic Con was pretty massive. And they were heavy-hitting fucking names. And, like, you literally just walk in that loop and back around, and you can fucking see them all at once.
Right.
So if you're a cheap ass like me and all you got to do is make eye contact with a celebrity for it to count, then you're good. Say hi as you walk by. That's all I'm out for.
PopCon, there's a couple decent ones at PopCon.
I haven't even looked.
The big ones are Andy Serkis and Elijah Wood. Those are the two big ones that they've announced. There's some Walking Dead people. There's Jim is it Cunning? Voice
Jim Cummings.
The voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
And Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
So.
And a fucking laundry list of other.
Yeah, laundry list. Those are the two big ones.
His voice rings out in my head right now.
Is when the two big ones are Winnie the Pooh and Darkwing Duck, but he's done several other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're a big Walking Dead person, I think there's like 5 or 6 Walking Dead people.
Madison Lintz, Matt Lintz, Mason Lintz, all Walking Dead.
Yeah.
There's some Lord of the Rings people.
Yeah, Elijah Wood is obviously a huge Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and Andy Serkis played Gollum.
I would not mind.
He also played Snoke.
I knew that.
I would not mind getting signatures from Serkis and Elijah, but it's literally for magic cards.
Well,
so I can flop out the Andy Circus Smeagol. Yeah, like
I would love to have a photo.
Oh, just wait till the Marvel cards come out. There'll be so many Marvel.
I'm going to be on that list. That'll be when I finally break my own rules of getting celebrity signatures.
Yeah, Andy Serkis. I would love to get Andy Serkis's autograph on something with him and Robert Pattinson from the new Batman.
Oh, right.
I'm
trying to think of some. There's, he's done so many different things.
And
I'm like, I don't know which way to hinge on him. Like, what's the item you get from him? Obviously, Smeagol's quite up there.
Yes.
Gollum is, yes.
Yeah.
Well, JoJo, our next big internet star.
Yeah.
JoJo.
I just knew she'd quit barking if I had her in my lap.
Yeah, JoJo likes to bark at the wind.
I can't even find the guest list.
I just typed in PopCon Indie guest.
They had a couple PopCon booths set up, but I didn't walk up to them. I don't know.
Oh, really?
They were, like, advertising.
Probably just
Dean
advertising.
Norris is going to be he's
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the DEA agent Hank.
Yeah, Hank from Breaking Bad. They've got some YouTubers.
I know Gary.
And
I don't know him, no. I know his videos.
Yeah.
Steve Ong.
Oh! He played Trevor in the new GTA 5.
No, he played Trevor in every GTA.
Oh, yeah.
He's been back. He was back in Vice City.
Yeah.
I think he was in Liberty GTA 3 as well.
Yeah.
And Sean Solo, who plays Franklin.
He's in GTA too. So.
But did you know Steven absolutely hates people calling him Trevor?
Oh yeah, that's not his name.
Most other people, when they get famous from a role, they're like, because they're also the characters in GTA are motion captured by the actors themselves, and they were made to look exactly like the actors. For a whole generation, we don't know Stephen Ogg from fucking any of the TV shows or movies he's been in. We know him as Trevor, because that's what Trevor looks like.
I liked him in The Walking Dead, because that was kind of where I quit watching, was shortly after the whole
I never was a
thing.
Walking Dead fan. I
enjoyed it, like I said before, Negan. And it was like, he was a good character, and like that was good, but the way all the groups were left in shambles and they handled it like wildly irresponsibly, I didn't like it. There's too many deviations from the stories from the comic book or common sense in general. It was just mostly the lack of common sense and why nobody would they always let their personal beliefs and emotions kind of fucking dictate everything.
Was Deacon Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Negan, yes.
Negan.
Yes, that was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I didn't watch Walking Dead, but
I always tell people the day the tiger died was the day I quit watching, because I literally just kind of watched up until that, and that tiger went out in a fucking a blaze of glory, man. But that was it.
The tiger died.
Yeah, the day the tiger died was when I quit watching The Walking Dead. That's for sure.
I never did watch it. Like I said, Jeffrey Dean Morgan I knew was in it at some point, but I was never not a big zombie person.
It's hit or miss for me. I like
I didn't watch The Last of Us because I couldn't get it out of my head that was too zombie-like.
Oh, they are zombies.
You should.
Yeah.
I don't
but
know.
everybody keeps saying
a different form of zombies.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying it's not the same thing, so I
fucking
probably enjoy it. But
it's the salads.
But I didn't watch it because I couldn't get past that.
I played the video games, and as much as it's a fantastic story, it's also the story is fucking 10 years. I played the game enough times I didn't give a shit to watch the TV show.
Well,
which I'm glad they did. I'm not saying this as a complaint, but they one-for-one it from the game. So everything that happens in the game, you just watch it again in the TV show. Which is cool. I'm glad that kept the story exactly the same.
Yeah.
They did everything they were supposed to. I just I've played it enough. I didn't give a shit to watch it now. Yeah. I heard it was fantastic.
Yeah, I've
it was
heard it's
good.
great. I just haven't. I never did watch it.
The
Honestly,
special effects
that would
crew.
be a good show to watch.
I'll tell you what I did watch this morning, and it is not pleasant. And that is, I watched that Dark Side of Children TV
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
on HBO Max
Quiet
this
on
morning.
Stage or
Yeah, quite on the
set.
set.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet, and I've been wanting to because I've been seeing all the damn articles pop up, and like most of those kids were the ones I grew up on TV with, like whatever
Dan Schneider.
That motherfucker, I remember him in all those old fucking shows.
Those old,
like,
yeah.
He wasn't just a producer; he acted in a lot of those skits too.
Yes. All that skits.
And then once you
buying
and the Amanda
that's
show.
what made him.
yeah, and it's like, okay, well,
That's also
derailment a lot of those kids.
I was gonna
It's
say
like,
that's one thing. You
fuck.
watch that and they start talking about things and throwing clips up from those shows. And you're like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah, because it's stuff it'd be stuff I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah, I was. I watched that this morning and was like, "Oh shit!" Like, wow. Okay, and I'm 10 years older than you.
Yeah,
and 20 years older than you. So like, you guys were watching that stuff
as children,
and I was not
Yeah.
because I was older.
yeah.
So like.
Well, you caught glimpses of iCarly and shit when
I
we
remember
watched
iCarly. I don't.
He was part of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, iCarly, Sam and Cat.
Victorious,
Victorious.
Zoe 101, all of those shows.
See, so I was like, I remember iCarly and Victorious from
And
when
Drake and
you
Josh.
guys watched it.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
saying.
Drake and Josh. But like, I don't remember all that or the Amanda show.
Both of those were before my time.
I fucking watched those every day.
But if you were watching them when you were like around 12,
I bring out
I would've been 22.
lobsters, man. Bring out the dancing lobsters. Like, come on.
yeah. So but here's the weird part, and I did not know who Dan Schneider was because I didn't watch those shows.
Yeah.
So even though he was a regular on those shows, I didn't know.
I always thought he was like a schlub failed actor that they had to fucking pay to be on a kid's show. I didn't realize he was the fucking producer.
Creator.
Until my adult life.
He was a creator.
Yeah.
But he was in a show called Head of the Class that I did watch when I was a child. Like, he was at 19 cast in this show called Head of the Class, and I would have been maybe 14, 15, and I remember watching that show. So he's only a few years older than me, but he was in that show and somehow catapulted himself from that show into writing scripts for that show, which then got him the job as the writer for all that.
Yeah.
So, but I remember him from Head of the Class, and I did not know that's who that was. But I don't remember him from anything else. There's a big chunk of that I don't remember. Like, obviously, I remember Amanda.
Movie.
I remember Amanda Bynes.
You remember the Good Booger movie?
Yeah. I remember knowing that there was one.
I think I don't know because I didn't read into his shit, but I think he had a part in that because he used to he worked in the kitchen when it was in all that skit.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm thinking. He was part of that.
At some point, he was told he couldn't be on the set with kids anymore.
Because he didn't do anything he didn't do anything sexual to the kids, like some of the other things you hear about in that documentary from another guy. He was just a horrible piece of shit.
It's just the things he said.
Oh, he was demeaning.
Yeah.
He'd scream at them. He'd fucking be an asshole. He'd work them over their time and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he was told he couldn't work for his kids, and then somehow got a job doing it again.
Well, he was allowed to work on kids' television show. He just couldn't be on the set with them. So
Right.
he basically got pulled from the producer role, was just a writer. But then because if I remember correctly, all that was like, it ended at one point, then he brought it back. And when he brought it back, that was when he was allowed to kind of weasel his way on to being on
because
set
when they
again.
brought it back, it was a lot of the old cast as adults.
Yeah.
With some new kid faces in there too, but it was a lot of like the guys coming back for a reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they interviewed a lot of the adult stars now, a lot of the women writers that he treated awfully. But yeah, it was a very it's a very well done journalistic piece by the girl. Because it wasn't just Dan Snyder, there were other people involved. And I think the impression that I got, you may have gotten this too, I think she started her story about Dan Snyder, but I think halfway through it, she realized that what the real issue was that
Brian Peck.
Is that Nickelodeon in that time frame, and even Disney, Nickelodeon at that time had no stop gates to stop pedophiles or sexual offenders from being working on kid shows.
The world as a whole didn't, and they still struggle with that shit.
Yeah, so like it kind of turned. I think her story was about Dan Snyder, and then it morphed into that, and then she brought it back to Dan Snyder.
That is the one I wish they.
But I was glad that they separate. They almost separate. It was like episode 1 was Dan Snyder.
Episode 2 and 3 are.
Episode 2 and 3 is like the epidemic of not knowing that you're hiring sex offenders to work on children's shows, and then like end of 3 into 4 was back to Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
And I think she did a very good job of not losing sight of the original story that Dan Snyder was the one that was breeding this hostile work environment. But she didn't want to, and she did say it. She said it. Drake Bell, still to this day, says that what happened to him is not the fault of Dan Snyder.
Well, because at the time, if you listen to his logic, which I can understand, it makes sense, the guy that sexually abused him, Brian Peck, wasn't a sex offender at the time. That Drake Bell is the reason he became one. So, but everyone loves to throw around that they hired sex offenders. Technically,
no, they were referring
I know
to the fact that Brian Peck got a job on fucking Disney.
Yeah, right after
he was a sex offender.
Yes, that is true. But they also throw shade on Nickelodeon. I'm like, well, technically, he didn't have a record.
That's not
yet.
the first. They did hire other sex offenders.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, I don't know.
I'm with the TV show. I was just using that docu-series. I was using what they used as examples.
Right.
Yeah, what their big thing is that it's not like Drake's big thing it seemed to be, was like, there's no way that you could have been on the set. He said, as an adult now, and they even talked to his dad, as an adult now, there's no way that you could have been an adult on that set and not known what Brian Peck was doing was odd, was weird. Following Drake around, having Drake stay the night, like inviting him places.
Going into his dressing room.
Yeah, going into his helping him get dressed.
And this was all before he was technically So this was leading up to the actual assault. Like,
yes.
They kind of tried to groom his ass on.
Oh, he did groom.
Yeah,
him.
he
got to the point because his dad was his manager.
Yeah,
and it got to the point where Brian was able to manipulate Drake into believing that Drake didn't want his dad to be his manager anymore, and so that way, and also to go live with his mother. So that way, because Brian knew that his mom was just going to say yes to anything.
He knew his mom was going to let him take control.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he put a wedge in between him and his dad, because his dad was like a pageant mom. Like his dad was there all the time. Was there constantly. And
never not.
To his dad's credit, his dad said that he brought up Brian's behavior more than once and kept getting told that it was just what Brian did. He was gay, and he was probably a little bit homophobic because he didn't hang out with gay people very much, and it was all right. But the reason that he said he would touch my son in ways that made me very uncomfortable, and they said that that's just what gay people do.
Yeah, when they're together.
Yeah, and he said it was very disturbing to me, and I kept getting shot down, and then Brian put this wedge in between Drake and his dad. But yeah, it was disturbing. It was disturbing. Yeah.
That shit was. Yeah. And they don't even give details about anything, and it's still just fucked up.
Yeah. It's like I said, though, it is very, very well done. Very well done. And everybody was willing to be on camera but the costumer.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? There was a costumer that actually called the union. She was the one that got Dan Snyder removed from his position. Like, when Me Too hit, she's the one that called and said, you guys need to do something about Dan Snyder. And so she's like, he's not doing
the costumer. That means she was probably standing there for several terrible fucking occurrences of that motherfucker.
She is like
kids in costumes.
Well, and she's like, he's not doing anything. He's not doing anything Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey like. What he is doing though is like emotionally traumatizing these children.
And he also doesn't like women. He is full blown just a misogynist. When you hear about them talk about the things, I mean, he straight up said it many a times, and it's on record that he said women can't be funny. Period. End of story. Women can't be comedians. They can't write for comedy shows. They can't write these skits. They don't know what they're doing. And so the only 2 women he ever hired, he also split their salary in half. They shared a salary.
Jesus Christ.
They found out like a year after their employment was illegal.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that every show that he had, the lead was a little girl.
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
The girl before Amanda Bynes.
iCarly,
Victorious,
Zoe 101,
Sam and Kat.
The only exception would be is
Drake and Josh.
He made Drake and Josh also.
Yeah, which
but
wasn't
even then had Miranda Cosgrove, who turned into iCarly.
Right. But yeah, it was weird because he did not like doing the women. He did not like using the women's stuff and degraded them as much as he possibly could. But all his shows were revolved around little girls.
Maybe that's because he budget friendly. He was paying him less than male actors, so it was budget friendly to have him as the star.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
Fucking crazy.
Well, and it's very good. If you get a chance to watch it on HBO Max, watch it.
It's on Max, and there's something else that it's also on Paramount.
Is it on Paramount? I just know I watched it on Max.
Or Paramount owns Nickelodeon.
They said Nickelodeon made comments, and it was at the end of each show that Nickelodeon has now put in place. Blah 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 blah.
They basically gave you an outline of how this will never happen again.
Well, and here's the thing.
But and she said it's still a problem. Nobody can stop it. Nobody's taken drastic measures to stop it. They've just put stop gates in, hoping that what they've done will stop.
Well, and that's like owning a fucking any kind of business. Really, you own a factory. Somewhere in your factory, people are fucking smoking meth. Like they're doing drugs or they're fucking each other or something. They're doing something that you're not going to know about because your day's too fucking busy to go look at every employee and you get to the bottom of all of it. Not like trying to justify the fact that they'll let the creeps slip through, but I can understand how it's difficult.
Especially when
you can see,
especially on like a movie, like a TV show set.
Well, yeah, because there's
there's
NDAs and
and people just coming in and
Yeah,
out.
there's
in
so
and
many
out, in and
rotating
out.
guest celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
So-
a fucking nightmare.
it was like I said, very well done. I started to watch the new Roadhouse on
That's
Amazon Prime,
We're gonna wait.
but I stopped. I stopped.
Oh, Dad said it's alright. He was 25 minutes in and said it was hilarious.
I stopped it because I want to watch it with these two. First 10-15 minutes was great. I think it'll be good.
I'm ready to see Jake Gyllenhaal smack the shit out of Conor McGregor because that would be hilarious.
I want to see Madam Web.
I still haven't watched that. I've heard it's fucking
I don't-
bad.
I don't know that it's out. Well, here's the weird part: the critics and like Hollywood panned it because it did not do well at the box office.
Yeah.
But if you read like the reviews just of randos on the internet, like they are like, it's one of the. It's a very they said the problem with it is it's a superhero movie. If it wasn't in a superhero universe, it's a really good movie. The problem is you're expecting too much because they tied Spider-Man lore to it.
Right.
And like it's
Basically, they didn't even. It just as long as if they wouldn't have done Marvel lore, like if they would have done just generic superhero, it would have been way different.
probably so I'm interested to see that because that's what I've heard
Or
about it.
relate it to a different profession.
Yeah,
Like if they were fucking cops instead of superheroes.
Yeah.
Or if they were, anything like that.
Yeah, I've heard it's a really good
Secret
movie.
Agents.
I've heard it's halfway decent, so I want to watch it. And when I was on Max
That
today, I
surprises
saw the new Aquaman's on there now too.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
been on there.
has it? I need to watch that too. So
And I need to quit. It's one reason why I don't watch trailers. I also try not to listen to reviews because I've heard so many bad things about Madam Web and that the Aquaman 2 movie that I'm like, I don't even want to watch them.
Well, Madam Web is Sony, right?
Yeah, and plus Aquaman 2 is not in the new universe.
I don't tend to watch. I don't really.
Well,
yeah.
yes and no.
How yes and no? How
Okay, so
Multiverse. You know what the multiverse is?
just like
but
right.
My whole point is it's not a part of James Gunn's new
I think people.
Jason
in all
Momoa
honesty-
is one of the only ones that James Gunn hasn't come out and said he's absolutely positively not part of my universe, though.
I'm saying this movie isn't because he's already stated where the start of his universe starts is with the Superman movie.
Do you know how?
Correct.
That's my whole thing. Is
Correct.
technically everything's getting rebooted, so I don't really care about Aquaman 2.
Technically correct.
Here's why DC fails: is the exact conversation you guys are having.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn's universe, the Snyderverse, this universe, everybody in DC filmmaking is out for their motherfucking selves. Nobody wants to work as a team. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. List all the directors and who's what separate universes. There are fucking none.
It's Kevin Feige's. That's it. Like, because he's the guy.
I don't know.
He's the guy.
Even then, it's not fully Feige.
But it's not
because,
Feige. It's Bob Iger, man.
I was going to say, because if it was the Feige-verse, Shang-Chi would have never been a movie. Because no one fucking cares about that stupid motherfucker.
This is Bob up top, man. He had to come back in, remember?
Yeah.
This is fucking Bob's universe.
And you're right. Here's the problem.
But what I'm saying, though, is DC Universe directors have their heads up their own ass so far that what they write is the new universe, and all the other shit does not connect to my shit.
Hey,
so
but
they need to knock the directors down,
yeah.
motherfucker.
But doesn't that suit DC as DC?
But it's also
think about Batman. Think about Superman. They're all up their own fucking asses so far.
And if you look at it too, most of the writers for DC are failed Marvel writers.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're trash, we'll throw you away, and you guys go argue in a pile, and we're DC.
Well, and here's where DC.
I feel like if this gets any traction, some people are going to be heated by some of the dumb
Bring
shit.
it on.
Has always. This is where DC has went here's the difference between DC and Marvel, and this is the problem that they've always had. So you've got now. If I go through Marvel, right, and I could be wrong, and people are probably going to tell me wrong, and I get it.
Yeah.
They've got them, but when I think of Marvel, I think of the Avengers and like
teams.
The Avengers, but then Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Wolverine, X-Men, like, so you've got them. But if you notice, like, with the exception of maybe Magneto, villains aren't, like, the DC universe, like, it's, I want to see an Avengers movie. When you go to DC, I want to see Batman versus the Joker. Like, it's like the villains hold that special place. And then what the problem is that they don't cross over. Like DC
Superman ain't fighting the Joker.
Correct, where Galactus might be fighting the X-Men one week, and then next month in the new series he's fighting the Avengers. Because the whole universe.
Well, that's where you fucked up. Marvel don't keep villains. That's their other issue.
Well, I'm talking comic books.
I know.
But like in DC, now later I get it in this whole Injustice thing that kind of like where Superman kills the Joker. But like Batman's villains, Flash's villains, Superman's villains don't, like, they all had their own specific.
It's everybody doing their own shit.
It's everybody doing their own shit.
Being a fucking team.
Because they're not. And then they put the Justice League together.
Yeah.
But the Justice League, like, but then they.
You only see one fucking member of the Justice League do anything.
I'll also say,
and then you got
comics.
But then they bring in Darkseid, so they create a whole new character just to fight the Justice League. The Justice League isn't fighting, and I'm sure they did Lex Luthor, but they're not fighting Luthor or the Joker or the Penguin or the Riddler. They made up all new space aliens for him to fight, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Just like it's Batman, it's Superman.
Don't count out. We got Justice League versus King Kong and Godzilla right now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I get it. We're not getting a movie of that.
but no, that's it. Is the failings of DCU versus the success of Marvel is that nobody wants to work as a fucking team.
Well, and what happened was Marvel got so far out in front of. While Marvel was building their cinematic universe,
we got the Dark Knight trilogy.
We got Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which they then tried to give us a Superman movie, and then went right into a team up where they had to switch Batmans because Christian Bale was done. Because he had already done his 3 movies, and he wasn't going to do it anymore.
And he fucking nailed his 3 movies.
Yeah, and it's like...
And he's like, no, if I stay, you guys are going to fuck my career up.
Yeah, and it was like they had made a very poor Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Well, no matter what, Green Lantern's just poor anyways.
And then they had done the Superman movie.
I fucking love Green Lantern's power set. So much.
Yeah.
I love the imagination is your weapon. And I'm like, the things I would hit you across the face with at all times.
And then they did, the Wonder Woman movie was good, but the sequel didn't live up to it because they tried to throw too much 80s product placement into it. Because they had to call it Wonder Woman 84.
Yo, check it. They hit some people's, like, niche wheelhouses. You gave me the 80s and Gal Gadot. It was the best movie ever. That's just, I don't know, mute it. I don't need words.
I don't need words.
I'll get my food when fucking, what's his name comes on. What's his name?
I've not watched
Chris
either.
Pine. No, that ain't Pine, is it?
Chris Pine played the...
Yeah, so anytime Chris Pine comes on, I go make a sandwich.
The bad guy in Wonder Woman is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
So
in
when
Wonder
he's
Woman
on
84.
screen, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Got mommy and daddy.
And then Aquaman was okay. I didn't watch the Flash movie. I probably should sit down and watch it. I didn't.
I can't stand Ezra Miller's role.
I'm not a big.
I liked him better when people abused him as an orphan in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic
It's all Harry
Beasts.
Potter.
It's all Harry Potter.
It's the same universe.
Harry Potter's Fantastic Beasts.
But and probably the best. And here's the best. And I don't understand why this is the case. DC, the only decent DC movies that they can make are Batman movies. And it's got to be because the villains are so good.
Because Batman by himself is a good hero.
Also
There's
culturally, also just no one gives a fuck about Superman. I'll tell you now, if I see someone wearing a Superman shirt, they're either a big giant nerd or
a big giant weightlifter.
Yeah, a big military, typically military or weightlifter. He's a man of steel. But the Flash, no one really cares about besides for the decent CW show that, in my opinion, ran a little too long.
The CW show ran too long, but the CW show with Grant Gustin was some of that whole universe that they built on TV. Was way better than they've done in anything in the movies.
So my top two of whoever's had the S on their chest is Iron Giant and Sloth from the Goonies, and it's not a single Superman.
but my point was
Giant Sloth.
I'm with
Those
you
are
on
the
the
two
Iron
best.
Giant
with the S on their chest.
Goonies, so but culture-wise, that is awesome. I did not know that. Batman is the
He's playing violin though.
That's hilarious. But you say superhero just in general. Now it may change since Marvel popped off so hard, but for the most part, you say superhero, immediate Batman. Most people doesn't matter Marvel, DC.
Yeah,
Batman,
if you say something about superhero movies, usually right now, even right now, in the last 5 years, the top 5 that you're gonna get are Batman, Deadpool, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and probably Iron Man.
If someone came up and said, "Quick, name a superhero,"
Batman's the first one you're probably going to.
I'm gonna say, "I'm Batman." It's not even gonna be normal.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is Batman is the most iconic superhero.
Think about the Lego movie. The fact that the best character in the Lego movie, and I thought that was a good movie, was Batman. To the point where he got his own Lego Batman movie.
Yeah. And when you ask some people who their favorite Batmans are, Will Arnett's name comes up.
Yeah.
That's how weird that whole entire thing is. Like, people are like, "Oh no, I loved Will Arnett as Batman." Oh my God, that's all he did was a voice. Like, but I get it. Because it's not like it's not like Kevin Conroy isn't in the same boat.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I can tell you that Kevin Conroy and Will Arnett voiced Batman, and Mark Hamill and Zach Galifianakis voiced the Joker, because he was the Joker in the Lego movies.
Yeah.
Oh!
But I couldn't tell you. Spider-Man's had, 7 cartoons? And I couldn't tell you who voiced Spider-Man at any point.
No. I couldn't
tell you,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who any of the
How about Optimus?
But
call me Helen again. That one went right over my head.
Optimus Prime from Transformers.
I don't know who's
it's Peter Weller, right?
Yeah. He just recently died not too long ago.
Peter, I think Peter Weller was his name.
Let me look at it.
Peter Cullen? No,
all right,
Peter
see,
Weller.
I'm not so fucking dumb. You can't even remember who he is.
I know what his face is.
I can see his face. Yeah, I can see his face. Yeah, at least we can see his face, Helen.
Blind, deaf, and dumb over here.
Yeah. So,
nothing new.
Named your dog. Yeah. So, anyway.
No, her name's Yokai.
Peter Cullen.
And she's a cute.
Peter Cullen.
C-U-L-L-E-N.
Okay, Cullen. Okay. Who's Peter Welker? Is that the guy that played RoboCop?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I haven't seen RoboCop.
You don't have to tell us how many movies you haven't seen. We're just assuming all of them. Nobody's shocked when you say, I haven't seen a movie. Peter Weller is the guy that played RoboCop. Okay. I saw a thing the other day.
I've seen, a good chunk of the Hannibal movies.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, Hannibal, and Hannibal Rising.
Okay, all right.
I haven't seen Hannibal Rising.
I did see it. What did I? Oh, I wish I could remember what that was.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
The sad part is the only thing I can picture. The only thing I can picture with that is Jason Mewes from Clerks 2 when they're standing in the drive-thru at movies and he's like, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me." Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Anyway, God, I saw something the other day that said that something going on right now is just a current version of RoboCop, and I can't remember what it was. Oh well, maybe I'll remember it at some point. But anyway, wow, we went on a total. Of course, we didn't have anything for this episode anyway.
I'm
so
sitting here. I'm still going through Peter Cullen's thing, and he was a voice actor on Tom and Jerry, and I'm like,
for what? They had voices.
There was voices on Tom and Jerry.
That was later, but this one was from '92, so I assumed not. But
who'd he voice?
Maybe the angry maid lady that comes in and swats Tom. I don't know. It didn't say. It just says voice.
You know what I'm excited for? Because I am a giant wizard nerd. Is they're remaking the Harry Potter books, as I'll put it, but as a TV
Monterey
show.
Jack from Chippendales Rescue Rangers.
Oh, was he?
He's Monterey Jack. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool. Yes, they are doing the Harry Potter.
So one season will be one book, and we're getting 7 seasons.
Yes, I did hear that.
I
don't even think they've started casting for it yet, though.
Well, no, because they're gonna have to they're gonna have to nail that casting down like good, because you're gonna want to stick with the same actors for 7 years. Why would you? You're gonna have to get them as kids.
Their hard part isn't gonna be just casting them and holding on to them, because, and I've not read the books, but technically, if you do it quickly, if you have to, you could change actors each season.
You could, but
if not, they'll have to go with the age. They'll have to try to find somebody that'll grow with the part. Their hard part will be trying to get
what they did with
trying to get the community to detach themselves from the 3.
Most people are like hyped for this. I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, especially because Daniel Radcliffe said before he'll never come back for anything.
Do you know
he won't do the cursed child.
I get that, but like,
I get we all have like their cultural icons as those characters, but
in quite honesty, I thought the original trio was a little stiff and lacking the whole fucking time. Besides Ron. Ron was the only one I was like, dude, nailed it.
Yeah.
I thought that they were better in the like later movies than they were in the beginning movies.
If you ever watched the
but they're they were kids.
Yeah.
You should watch the documentaries of them, like it's not documentary. It's
their 20th anniversary. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, yeah. They were all kids. And the director would just let him go, and he's like, because he knew I have 150 fucking kids here. I'm not going to stop them from running around playing and screaming and doing whatever. So I'm just going to
good shots, I imagine.
Yeah. And kept them loose for the most part. Tried to keep them loose.
It doesn't count as their work hours.
Yeah, that too.
Bank off
but the thing that I have, and I get what you're saying about Daniel Radcliffe not doing it again, but like I see right now, currently, movie that is getting ready to come out because people will not let Hugh Jackman go.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking to myself,
are they actually doing this? Are they actually Radcliffing this right now? Like, they just had an article where he's confirmed on a top secret role in the fucking movie.
I think they're going to.
What?
Daniel Radcliffe, the new Wolverine.
He'll be our new Wolverine.
The articles that I saw this week were that Henry Cavill had just signed to do it.
Henry Cavill's a fucking giant monster, and God bless his heart because he's fucking fantastic for the community.
He needs to be a short fucking Canadian.
Jesus.
Well, I get Daniel Radcliffe's not Canadian, but he needs to be a short fucking person.
Daniel Radcliffe's like a normal person's height.
Yeah.
He's not Superman.
Yeah.
Again.
But that's where I go. Like, so you've got this whole Harry Potter universe
If
in the movies, and they're going to recast them, and they're going to do the books as TV shows, and I get that, and that's fine. It's fine, but for me, I would think that it'll be hard for some fans to disconnect because I see what has gone on with Wolverine, and that is the fact that no Wolverine fan in the last fucking 25 years, 30 years has been able to let Hugh Jackman go.
And we overlooked his height briefly.
Now,
people didn't like him originally.
Well, here's also my question. Have they even tried? Have they fucking tried?
Every time they do, people come out and they're like, won't do it.
No, have they went all the way through with shooting a movie, releasing a movie, and letting someone else play that role?
No.
Oh, no.
Then we don't know what would happen.
They never get that far. Because every time somebody's
a tall person.
Yeah, every time somebody says something about doing
that's an issue.
Every time everybody starts saying something about Wolverine, they're like, you can't do it if you don't bring Hugh Jackman back. Fucking Ryan Reynolds even said, Wolverine can be in the movie, but it's got to be Hugh Jackman.
But he also has stated this is the last appearance of Hugh Jackman. Wolverine.
This is the last appearance because whatever's going to happen, they're going to be in a different universe, which means it's going to have to be a different Wolverine.
And I was like, I know you're a giant fan. I don't know your opinions on it, but all the Wolverine fans can suck a fucking cock. You're gonna have to be stuck with no more Daddy Hugh Jackman.
I'm ready for a new one just because I want some fucking movies with Wolverine.
It needs to be.
I just want my.
It definitely just needs to be done right.
I agree with that. I'm not saying it, just half-assed. I'm just saying I hate this whole pussyfooting around and being scared to do a change because the fans might fucking outlash. All right, how many times does that happen? And then give it 3 months and people are, I actually kind of like that.
If you fuck up Wolverine, someone's dying though, I'm telling you.
Same thing happened with Batman. Everybody hated the Sparkle Batman because it was Robert Pattinson. He did
a fantastic job.
Honestly, with the exception of the fact that they had to make it 3 hours, it's a really solid Batman movie. But again, and even though Dark Knight Rises wasn't a fantastic movie.
I'm gonna pick this fight.
Still a shit Bruce Wayne to me.
But it was yes.
It's a good Batman, bad Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Which one are we talking about?
Pattinson.
No, I was when you went back to Nolan there for a second.
Oh, okay, you're talking Bale.
Christian Bale, terrible. He was asleep all the fucking time. You're supposed to be out partying.
That movie, he was a terrible Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Now, Batman Begins, he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
Oh, maybe yeah, that makes sense.
Because he was the Playboy guy that in Batman Begins, but then they turned him into the fucking hermit before he needed to be in Dark Knight Rises.
He's supposed to have gray hair before he starts that fucking
and I didn't care for how that movie went, but with that being said, you have to go all George Clooney's Batman and Val Kilmer Batman, but they weren't terrible movies per se. With Batman Forever was a little hokey, but
I still love Batman Forever.
But or Batman and Robin, the Joel Schumacher one. But it's hard. It's really honestly, it's hard to fuck up Batman. I mean, you got this, and different people have done it better than others. I'll definitely give them that. But I thought Pattinson was a very good Batman. He was not a very good Bruce Wayne. Because he played it more emo than I thought it needed to be. Ben Affleck was a fantastic Bruce Wayne and did not get enough time in the Batman suit. That's my opinion on Batfleck. But he was if I was to pick somebody in Hollywood and go, that guy's Bruce Wayne, it would be Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Honestly,
his
it would
extra
be Ben
research,
Affleck.
the way he did extra research and studied so many fucking things, like the whole actually spending time in the fucking Batcave,
right,
in front of a wall of screens,
right.
Like, that's Bruce Wayne when he's not making a public appearance for Wayne Enterprises,
right. Like, yeah, that was how I felt about him. But they've been able to, in the time frame that Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine, we've had 7 Batmans.
Yeah.
I mean, and that gives longevity to Hugh Jackman. And even though people might not have been happy about him at the beginning, I mean, he has been Wolverine through, what, two trilogies? The X-Men trilogy? No, the first X-Men trilogy. The second X-Men trilogy.
And his own trilogy.
And then his own trilogy.
And then his own standalone.
That was his own trilogy.
Yeah,
Logan's not part of that.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was
X-Men Origins, X-Men Wolverine. He made cameos in First Class and all the other shit. He's been in almost every X-Men video and a cameo.
You would absolutely hate anybody else's opinion because they look at Logan as the ending to his trilogy.
No, Logan was standalone film. Logan was standalone film by itself in an entire different world, and I will die on that hill. No doubt. Like, that was completely separated. You had 2 origins of the same thing.
Because, I would take...
even Hugh Jackman said
I would take Wolverine Origins.
The trilogy.
I would say Wolverine Origins, and then Wolverine,
and then
Logan.
So...
No. Like, that's how...
It is the 10th film in the
my
X-Men
opinion,
film
but...
series and the 3rd and final installment in the Wolverine trilogy following X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and The Wolverine. Which, they just list 3 movies there and say Logan's the ending of the trilogy.
But that's what I mean.
X-Men Origins was the one where they defecated on Deadpool.
Well, yes.
And then Wolverine is the one where he goes to Japan.
Yes.
And then Logan's the end of that trilogy.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. That's not your opinion.
No.
That's what they say.
That made it sound to me was, they went, here's the trilogy, Origins, Wolverine, The Wolverine, Logan now ends it. As in, this is, which supports yours, Logan is a standalone, but it was supposed to be the last time we saw...
It ends Wolverine.
Yeah.
It ends Logan.
It ends Hugh Jackman. That was their final installment of the trilogy. Instead of calling it a quadrilogy.
Caliban's personality is the biggest indicator it's a completely separate, removed world from the other ones. Because Caliban in the First Class trilogy
it's also been years since I've watched any of
He's a dark, creepy, like, doorkeeper, underworld fucking, like, I got all the names and I do creepy shit, I'm a vampire. And the other one's like, the fucking son, I gotta help these assholes, you know? He's not the same guy. So it's like, the hinging difference where in the origin of Wolverine with Deadpool, like, how many times did we see Professor X in those?
In the different Professor X's we saw.
Well, no, just in Origins, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and the Wolverine. How many times do you see Professor X in those?
I don't think you do you?
No, because it's not the same universe. Those 2 Wolverine movies are completely separate. X-Men First Class, separate. We got our first ones that run up the alley. Logan ties off the original 3. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
Logan ties off the other 3. First Class is a different universe. X-Men Origin Wolverine's a different universe because we've seen his motherfucking origin in 3 different styles across all of those in a minuscule way.
Yeah, okay. Alright, I can buy into that.
And
but that's just my, like... I
was a child when all this was going on. Like, I don't know how old with all the X-Men movie. But why the fuck are they so goddamn confusing with the timeline? And this movie came out here, and it's part of this trilogy, and this and that, and this and this, and they all are fucking X-Men. Like, without... Or like, Wolverine. The Wolverine. what the fuck were we doing at that time? Who the fuck was letting that shit go on?
Fox.
Yeah.
Fox needed to make superhero movies, and
nobody else had started doing that yet.
And their cash grab was Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was it. And they got so much slack for Wolverine Origins.
There's been 3 different people to play Stryker as well.
Yes.
I did know that.
Yes.
And technically, X-Men First Class follows
Young Stryker.
Young Stryker, which could have been.
Was he a rapper in that career? Like,
yeah,
Yeah, Young Stryker. Yeah,
no,
he was Little Stryker.
Yeah,
Little Stryker.
Yeah, Little Stryker. Yeah.
no, well, and that's what I always go to. I know recasting shit doesn't mean nothing because Rhodey and fucking
Well,
the
and
MCU, but
that's the part that they with Wolverine, because he had spanned so long, and they said, well, he's so old. And he didn't age the normal way, so they kept throwing him into different things because everybody wanted to see Wolverine in the movies. So
but you can't,
which makes sense.
You can't film the same.
Character.
You can't film the same occurrence for Wolverine with the same actor twice and tell me it's the same universe. Because he had two different strikers working on Wolverine in X-Men First Class. That young Stryker is the one experimenting, and we see him break out in his fucking classic helmet, no pants, fucking, there's our fucking Hugh Jackman Wolverine. This one is separate than the ones that Fox written, because they showed him with, what's his name?
the older
Yeah,
Stryker.
but he was old when he experimented on Logan in a modern time. Right there means that's a whole different time, like, in Wolverine's life. In this universe, he was experimented on during World War II. In this one, he was experimented on, well, fucking 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Right around 9/11.
Yeah.
Yes, so
that
right there signifies. And then you go to the fucking, the Wolverine, where this doctor is talking about his procedures with fucking shit. You have the 3rd Stryker, who completely addresses and talks to Logan in a different manner and approach, like he doesn't approach him the way any of the other Strikers did. The other one was, you're mine. This one was, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then this one's like, oh, come here, my boy. Like, I just need to experiment. You gotta do these jobs for me. Yada yada. Be a secret agent. And he was this
Been
3
so
different
long
fucking
since I've seen those movies.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. I forgot about all of that.
Yeah.
And then you get Stryker's fucking family that comes in to get him in Logan. That was Stryker's son. Was it not? The doctor?
I think so.
Experimenting scientist? Or just a whole nother fucking Stryker?
Yeah. See, I also never saw Logan. Thinking about it.
See, that's the thing, is you've got... So yeah, there's 4 different Strikers, and you're telling me they're all in the same universe. No, thank you, it's not. My guy is a standalone at the end. It's a whole separate... Logan's separate. If anything you're going to tie it to is the Fox trilogy and nothing else.
Yeah. I can see that.
And
then you got First Class. The First Class trilogy is First Class, Days of Future Past, and Dark Phoenix, and they never even released Dark Phoenix in the theaters.
Yeah. I thought they did.
I don't think they did. If they did, it didn't. It didn't last very long. I think it was one of those first COVID dead movies.
Right.
But Dark Phoenix was so that was the one I didn't watch because everybody said it was a terrible adaptation.
It is.
It was a rehashing of events from the Fox trilogy.
It was.
And I'm like, motherfucker.
It was. Yeah, because they'd already done the Dark Phoenix story. That's what X3 was.
Fox tried to do what Sony did with Spider-Man, and it utterly fucking bit him in the ass. But we still get Hugh Jackman, which kept us all fucking happy.
Yeah.
See, I enjoyed Days of Future Past. I watched that one every once in a while.
I did like it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it.
Days of Future Past was okay.
Out of all of those X-Men movies, that's the only one that I'll go back and rewatch. I do it probably a little too much.
The original
I would with
X.
Logan, but I cry every time.
The original X and X2 weren't bad.
X2 better than X1 for sure. In my opinion.
And then, but they lost their way with X3. First Class isn't terrible, but Days of Future Past is the best one of that trilogy for sure.
I also love that they were kind of lazy, even though they're X-Men, and just was like X1, X2, X3.
Yeah.
It's kind of
they
like
did it better than fucking Microsoft could.
Yeah.
Fucking X-Men.
I was about to say it's what we all wish Fast and Furious would have done instead of Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and the Furious. Just be Fast 1, Fast 2, Fast 3, Fast 4. I would have taken that over X1, X2, X3.
How many times do you think Fast and Furious fans accidentally watched the wrong movie?
Probably a bunch.
Like, damn it, I wanted the other one with the
Unless they're
in
like,
there that I forgot to type.
Kyla's one of those that sometimes it takes her a second, but I mean, she'll be like, yeah, it's Fast and the Furious, then it's Fast and Furious, then it's this. Like, she has them all in fucking order.
I couldn't. I just know, like, give me some Tokyo Drift. I'm one of those outliers.
I've seen all of them one time. And that's because I bought her the box collection before 10 came out. And I was like, I've only ever made fun of these movies. I've never watched them, but for some reason you love them and don't own them. So here, you now own them. Let's sit down and marathon the whole thing.
I finally sat down and watched 10 a few weeks ago.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I finally sat down and watched 10. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's a Fast and Furious movie. I mean, it's really nothing. I mean, it is what it is. It's a Fast and Furious movie.
I liked, because I only saw clips walking in and out of the rooms. You were watching it in the living room, but I enjoyed that they kind of are starting to take it back to actually about fucking cars and heisting shit. And, like, I know that the heist is where they took off and went wrong, but I mean, like, in the first movie, they're heisting fucking vehicle parts off of a semi-truck, doing shit like that.
Honestly,
TVs. The first one was TVs.
Yeah, it was TVs.
Honestly, the ones that I enjoyed the most were like
1, 2, and 3.
No, not at all. Like, I didn't even care for those. Were probably the ones with like The Rock, where they were doing bank heist and shit. What, 5, 6, and 7, or 7, 8, 9?
Mine was Tokyo Drift.
Your favorite was Hobbs and Shaw. I remember you telling me.
I do love Hobbs and Shaw, but you can't go wrong with Jason Statham and The Rock. I mean, they were a little, and it was a little bit of an annoying shtick, but I get it. But I love Jason Statham movies. So
more of a car person than you are. So.
Oh yeah, I could give two shits about the cars.
Yeah, see, I like watching it for all the cars.
Yeah, I could give two shits about the cars. I want to I love a good heist movie, like where it's like total misdirection. Like the Ocean's trilogy is like I could watch that over and over. Oceans 11, 12, and 13. I could watch that shit over and over and over.
When did they start at
Snatch.
1, 2, and 3?
Snatch is my favorite heist movie, and then Italian Job is second.
Okay, I do enjoy the Italian Job. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Italian Job 2, not so much, but still.
But the, Oceans 11, 12, and 13, they're out there, and like...
I am the premier heavy bike driver.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What are you even talking about, dude?
What is that? Is it Don Cheadle? Yeah, Don Cheadle that does
he's
that.
Talking about heavy bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Because nobody's going to argue with a dude that walks in and talks about motorcycles like that. And I'm like, no one has ever said those words ever. And like, I would just be like, okay, sure, Like,
but it was
I
just
didn't watch those
like
movies.
I love the whole.
Oh, they're good.
This is you're watching the movie, and then at the end, they're like, "This is what you were watching. This is what you didn't see."
Yeah.
And then it's like a whole completely.
We're understanding your psychology.
Nose.
There's a reason you love Clue.
Yeah. Yes. But it's a whole misdirection. It's like, this is what you've been spending the last 2 hours watching. Now the next 20 minutes are going to be us explaining how they did it.
Oh,
like, because you don't understand how they just...
Yeah.
Now you see me
That is a fantastic
Is
movie.
it like what
Even
is
the
that, Knives
sequel?
Out
Yeah.
and Glass Onions the same way?
So
That's
I could not
Dinner
get.
theater.
I could not
Okay.
get through Glass Onion,
I've not seen either. But I've just heard they're
but
fantastic.
Knives Out
movies.
is fantastic.
I watched both of them, and
Okay.
I enjoyed both of them.
Okay, Knives Out.
I
I
haven't seen
watched.
either of them.
I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I could not get through Glass Onion. I'll
That's
tell you what.
definitely more of the Clue vibe. Mr. Body fucking got
Yeah.
murdered.
Yeah,
They murdered mommy in that one fucking Gal Gadot, man.
Yeah, yeah.
was so mad.
The Murder Mystery 1 and 2 on Netflix with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
Oh,
They're fantastic.
What the fuck are we
that
on
is
about?
some hilarious shit.
They are. They're funny movies. They're really solid, funny. They're funny murder mystery movies, and it's more
basically
dinner
like-
theater.
If you stuck in the innocent fucking schmuck from fucking Boston in the middle of in the middle of the Clue movie
Yeah,
with his
Yeah.
wife.
yeah, with his wife who barely can stand him.
Yeah,
like
the
it's
two out of place people. Like, what are you guys doing here? We're only concerned about you because there's no reason for you to be here. And I'm like,
Yeah,
they're like, I don't know.
yeah, I think they were really good movies. I enjoyed both of them, but those heist movies and those misdirection movies and that's probably why. I mean, it all stemmed from my love of Clue, but those are the movies I enjoy. So those Fast and Furious movies where they did the whole heist thing,
Yeah.
those were the ones that I really like. I was like, okay, I can sit here and watch this. The other ones, like the first couple,
I do love the heist trope. Like that's what right now. That's why I'm like, I've been digging the next set for Magic. It's a fucking heist story, like full on heist mode. They're about to steal a floating fucking magic vault in the sky. And
The Outlaws?
Yeah, and
Yes.
Wild West fucking. That's gonna be fun.
yeah,
But I've already heard people bitching about, well, this lore doesn't make sense because of this, and I'm like, you have never watched a goddamn spaghetti western or fucking Gunsmoke or anything ever. Like, cowboys ain't smart. Like, shut the fuck up and just sit back for the ride.
Also, my
God
thing.
damn it.
my thing
sometimes
has
you have
always
to just
been-
sit and enjoy what you got in front of you.
Yeah.
You will understand this because you played League also.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering lore is like League of Legends lore.
Yes.
It's barely fucking talked about. The people that know it know way too much about it.
Yes. Guilty.
But randomly fucking the company's just one day gonna decide, yeah, half of the stuff that we talked about, just fucking negate it. It's
Yeah.
not even a part of the lore anymore.
So the people that enjoy it are get fucking
It's
black sheep
Fortnite.
and feel left out. It's Star Wars.
Fortnite,
Legends.
Yeah.
Think
Fortnite
about
lore.
Legends.
Nobody gives a shit about Fortnite. No,
but then at least keep it consistent. I'm saying
No, they
like
don't. The season's fucking none of this new season is about mythical gods. Has nothing to do with the fucking lore. They squeeze it in. They're like, oh yeah, Jonesy was a god. And it's just like that's what they do. And it's just like it makes no fucking sense. You can't just like Zeus is taking over Fortnite, and it's like what? What are you talking about? Like, I mean, it makes no sense at all. But that's the poll. But Fortnite people are the same way. It's like most people don't care about the lore, but the ones that do, like, track it and they understand it and they want to understand it and they're they go through.
but
what's
what I say with the whole changing everything, they'll just take whole swaths and sections and go, that never actually happened in the lore anymore. Just shit. Fortnite at least is like, yeah, we did this. Jonesy now became a god, or however the fuck. They at least try to squeeze it in there, but they don't go back and go, yeah, everything you loved about Tomato Town, that never happened now in the lore.
I would almost rather do that.
Complete redaction.
Yeah, they'll just completely imagine going
League's
through the.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, but imagine going through a book and all of a sudden halfway through it, you're like, wait, what was that 2 pages ago? And now it's just erased. It's gone.
Well,
Because they're like, fuck you, we didn't want it in there now. We decided otherwise.
are they not about to do something with the Shadow Isles? where it comes back to being clean and shit, and it's like the old fucking place that got ruined. It
Are you
made
talking
most
Leeds?
of everything.
Yeah.
I think they're reverting. I seen some pictures spoiled here and there.
Yeah, I believe they're getting ready to change the show.
Clean them up. Oh, Diego's not bad no more. Fucking Beauty and the Beast. He found his wife or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me started. Shaco still doesn't have lore.
No shit. In a movie,
They created a character. Every character, they at least had some smidget of a story behind them. Shaco is a fucking jester, a Mad Hatter, basically, and they went, yeah, he's just in the game. He's just there. People are like, yeah, what's the story? We'll make it.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's been like 9 years.
He just showed up one day.
He doesn't. Listen.
They can't.
Is he crazy?
Rework him. Yes.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I hate him.
He's crazy. He's insane.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. He's a clown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. It's the Joker.
No, he's already in Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Or no, wait, that's Valor. There's another MOBA that's just like League, but it has Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and all kinds of
But yeah,
characters.
no, but I mean it's the same thing DC did with the Joker. He's just a psychopathic clown that's got no backstory, no lore.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, he's just crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah,
Gotham tried to give him one, fuckers. Should have never done it.
You're talking the TV show.
Yeah.
That shit was retarded.
Yeah, I can go on that fucking tangent again.
But they've done some sort
Don't
of...
say Joaquin Phoenix near him.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
But they've done... They've
Jesus.
done... Like The Killing Joke, for example. Christopher Nolan... The biggest inspiration for Christopher Nolan's Joker was The Killing Joke comic series. Because in it, he gives himself several backstories.
Correct.
So he technically has backstories, and they've done backstories for him before.
You
Not
just
all
don't know
fucking
which one's
lie.
right.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is even in the animated shows.
Actually, you know what they
in
did?
straight comic books, for this universe, here's his backstory. But they don't ever go into detail more of like...
So, actually,
what
what
the chemicals
well,
or
what they
this.
did what they did was in the new 52 when they at the end of the Batman 52 lore, what they did was they actually crossed it over with the Watchmen. They crossed DC over with the Watchmen, and Batman saw the smiley face, and what had happened was he could go back and see he could see the history. It was some sort of weird Watchmen Overwatch thing, and he could see that the Jokers that he had been fighting over the last 30 years were actually different Jokers. Like, it ended up being a mantle. When one Joker died, another one took the mantle. When that Joker died, another one took the mantle. And he didn't know the identity of any of them. Nobody ever knew the identity. It was, as you could say, which I think they were trying to do this with the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
And to clear up Leto's weird bullshit.
Was that the Joker is a concept.
Yeah.
The Joker is a concept, and at some point, like somebody takes over as the Joker, and then with no real backstory, and then when that one dies, somebody just takes over the mantle. That I think is where they were going with Joaquin Phoenix's, and now the next one's going to be a musical, and Lady Gaga's playing Harley Quinn, which I'm sure will be god fucking awful.
Oh,
I'm gonna be curious about it. I fell asleep watching the first Joker movie. I thought it was horrible.
I watched it. It's fine. Whatever. It's still like.
Again, my opinion doesn't really matter, but I thought
I didn't mind.
Awful enough that I fell asleep during it.
Heath Ledger did a fantastic
not
job.
like at night, just in the middle of the fucking day.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we can get into fucking Jokers and Harley Quinns, and I'll tell you what, if you want to see a fantastic rendition of Harley Quinn, watch the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max.
The Poison Ivy Harley Quinn show.
The Harley Quinn TV show where Kaylee Cuoco is the voice of Harley Quinn, and it's completely R-rated. So she is like,
I've
it
heard
is
it's
all gloves off, and she is fantastic.
Well, look at the title picture. It's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy riding a fucking rocket that looks like a dick.
Yeah.
If that doesn't give it away right there, that this is going to be
the first
fucked up.
the first like 10 minutes.
That's how you know DC's reaching. They're like, yeah, just fucking make it. Maybe it'll make us some money.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of the very first episode, like the Joker breaks up with her, and like she tries to kill him, and then I don't think the Joker's in it the rest of the time. Like it's one of those first time ever pure Harley Quinn things. And Margot Robbie's done a very good job of Harley Quinn, don't get me wrong, in those movies. I thought they made her lean on Jared Leto a little too much in the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen her just fucking knock his nasty silver teeth out, but
I fucking hate Jared Leto though.
But she did a very good job in the Suicide Squad.
He does a couple good roles. The House of Gucci, he was good in that, but everybody else was
in that.
Like that movie fucking sucked.
He was fantastic in House of Gucci.
See, I've heard he's one of those method actors.
He was good in Fight Club,
and I've heard
too.
Just some of the fucking dumb shit that he's done that I'm like, you've only had a couple good roles to be this fucking obnoxious.
If we would have
30
gotten
Seconds to Mars ain't that good, buddy.
Yeah.
if we would have gotten the Jared Leto Joker that is in the end of the Snyderverse Justice League, it would have went over way better. Because it is that last 45 seconds that he's in where he's given that speech to Batman is probably some of the best Joker work that you could ask anybody to do. The problem is that's not the version anybody got. You got psychopathic, for whatever reason, you got Post Malone Joker. I don't get it, but
hey, don't make fun of Post Malone there.
Well,
that's
the
first name. That's an insult to Posty.
It's the first thing that popped into my head.
I didn't even know that.
What?
He was a Joker.
Post Malone?
Yeah. I had no fucking idea.
So yeah, it's just like, yeah. Hey, I don't like the whole tattoo thing and the whole.
The tattoos they chose were stupid.
They were, but it just didn't make sense. The whole Jared Leto Joker thing just didn't make sense.
I think it could have putting some tattoos on him and making him a little more of a thug could have worked if he wasn't so fucking stupid. Because they try to go for a thug, but yet he's still fucking insane.
Yeah, he's a gender-bending mob boss who wanted to make you feel uncomfortable while he sat on your lap.
Yeah.
And,
it just did.
Fuck my wife. And I'm like, gross, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, and I don't get why. Yeah. Yeah, and he's always in a, God damn it, you think of the Joker and you think green hair, white face, purple suit.
Yeah.
Nobody wears fucking purple anymore.
Jared Leto, or not Jared Leto, Heath Ledger gave us that. I
guess he did. His was.
Yeah.
It was a real dingy.
It was a dingy, dark, but that's what you get in the cartoons. That's what Cesar Romero gave you. That's what you get in the comic books. That's what you got that's what you got with Heath Ledger. There's no reason to reimagine what the Joker does.
Well, and by doing that, what they did was they gave this fucking piece of shit the right to terrorize his fucking coworkers to extreme stupid fucking lengths.
Right.
All under the guise that I'm just a method actor, this is my process. Nobody, you're about to get your shit split because if you do that shit to me, I'm just going to haul off and hit you. No matter what amount of suing is going to change the fact that I just split your fucking dome open for being a dumbass.
Right. It's Batman and Superman. Maybe you change the color of the suit. Or not the color. Maybe Superman. Maybe you go a deeper blue or a lighter, or something like that. And Batman, the suit. You change the suit a little bit to make it look more like armor, and that's fine. But it's still the Batman. It's still the same Batman suit. It's still the same Superman outfit. There's no the Joker has a uniform. That's what he needs to fucking wear.
Yeah.
Period. That's what he needs to fucking wear.
It'd be like the fucking penguin coming.
I saw the new commercial. I finally saw the trailer for the Acolyte for Star Wars.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And the Jedi's are wearing the robes. It's their goddamn uniform. That's what they should be wearing.
Yeah.
I don't need a fucking gangster fucking Jedi.
Oh, you don't want to see...
Put them in the fucking robe.
You don't want to see some stripes on the Jedi?
Put them in a fucking robe.
I want to see some spinners on their spaceship.
I don't
Find something to make them.
I don't need them.
They did that Book of Boba Fett with the mopeds.
You're right.
Yeah, space mopeds.
I don't need them to have fucking top hats and canes and grills. Just fucking put them in their fucking robe, their fucking Jedi robes, and let's do this. But I did see the trailer for that. It was fantastic. That and the new Beetlejuice. The new Beetlejuice trailer is fucking wonderful.
Dude, Bad Batch has been fantastic.
I need to catch back up.
Okay, so you know how fucking outrageously annoying Omega is in the first season?
Yeah.
She's no longer annoying.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the Empire beat her down enough that she's a little even keel now and not so much to fucking handle. Like, she's not that young squirrely kid that didn't know how bad everything was.
I haven't watched X-Men
episode 5.
I haven't watched X-Men 97 yet either.
I haven't either. I've been waiting for like a good block period. I can watch a few episodes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the wife is too interested in that one, and like I kind of want to watch the old one first.
Yeah, and there's not a lot to the old one, is there? I think there's only a few seasons.
Yeah, there's not too many seasons.
Yeah.
And it's the old, 15-minute daytime television format.
Right.
Where it's like a half hour with commercials.
Yeah. So, all right, what time are we at?
About an hour and a half.
Okay.
Wow, that was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a quick hour and a half.
Yeah, it was a quick hour and a half. It was a good conversation. So, okay, we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
Because I think we're ready. And this has been Pints and Pages. And we appreciate you guys listening, including the guy from Canada. And if you want to put your name in for the new Wolverine spot, you can.
Yeah, I would vote for you just because you're Canadian.
Right, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, hopefully you're short too.
Yeah, that would do good. If you had mutton chops, that'd work. So, yeah.
I'll give you mine.
So, I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
And this has been Pints and Pages. See you next time.